Let's talk about machetes today. I have four right here, and these are all. You know what? I'm going to amend that. This is budget machetes because these are all under $50. The most expensive one being this, which I didn't buy for myself. It was a gift. But yeah, we're going to work as usual from smallest to largest, which is not cheapest to most expensive in this situation. I'll tell you in a minute. Okay, this is my Zezco micarta handle file work machete. It's got some rust on it. I haven't actually used this yet. I've been putting off using it because, well, I haven't had a reason to use a machete in like a month. But yeah, this is no longer available on Amazon anymore. I've tried 4 different times to find it on Amazon with just searching through Zezco's page, which I know I'm not entirely sure that's how it's supposed to be pronounced. It's SZCO. I heard the We All Juggle Knives channel. He says Zezco, so I'm saying Zezco. But ruler, if I remember correctly, this is just over a foot. Huh, that was circumstantial. Okay, so it's 15 inches. 15 inches. I should measure the edge length as well, because some people like that. The edge length is 8 2/3. But this was, when I bought it, $15. It is obviously carbon steel, not stainless, because of the rust. It feels amazing in the hand. This is a very thick, right, thickness. I think it's like a 1/4 inch. Yeah. Yeah, just under a 1/4 inch thick. And let me put it back in the sheath because safety. But speaking of, this sheath is a very tight fit up at the throat, which is this end. Throat, collar, whatever you want to call it. The open end. Or it might be down here that's tight. Oh, wait. I know what's happening. It's actually got very thick leather edge work. It's like 1/3 of an inch thick. And at the bottom, it is actually, the knife is impacting the edge and staying in the edge. But $15, if you can find it anywhere, it'd be a good thing. Actually, pause. Okay, so I just checked Zezco's site. It is still there, but to see the price of it, you have to be a member of Zezco's customer base. You have to make an account with Zezco. Um, I'm not going to do that because it seems a little fishy. Um, by the way, made in Pakistan. So if that's a no for y'all, I figured I'd mention that. But yeah, it's it's a little over a foot long. It's a large knife slash small machete. It's a heavy chopper, or at least it has the potential to be. I haven't used it, like I said. But let's go on to stuff I have used, starting with the cheapest one, which is also the next in length. Now, Okay, that's, yeah, I'll worry about that later. This is, whoop, 22 inches with an edge length of 15. And this, it still has its tag on it because I haven't taken a hair dryer to it, but I have lightly used this. It has a good edge. The handle is abysmal. It is not actually made for this machete. This is a, this is kind of obviously a a mass-produced machete handle scale set, because this machete has no profile taper at all. It's a square, it's a piece of flat bar the entire length. So it is slightly rounded under the scales here. You can make it out a little. But this one actually isn't mine. It's a backup for my family. And I got a 5-pack a couple years ago of machetes, and this was one of them. If you've stuck around my channel for a while, you'll see my initial impressions of these. This did not rank high, but it is a Gavilan de Incorma made in Colombia. And there is a lot of Spanish on this side, and I don't speak Spanish enough to be able to determine what the label here says. But this came in a pack. It was $30 for the pack, so this was $6. Is it usable? Yes. Are you gonna like using it? Probably not. It is clunky. The handle has a gap at the tang. If you use it too long with any grip, you're gonna develop blisters along right here on your hand, and probably here. Well, not there, but there, right at the webbing, because this bites into your hand while you use it. So my option is, just a moment, I've got Go Band. Cohesive bandage, athletic bandage, whatever you want to call it. Gamo wrap or gamo form. So I got 9 rolls of this. Well, 9.5. But this is self-adhesive tape. It doesn't have adhesive. It only sticks to itself. And in fact, let me get this handle on here while I'm talking to you, because that determines whether I will take this handle and maybe try to, no, it's riveted on. I can't get it off. Yeah. But this is already immediately making it better to grip. And I'm gonna wrap this a lot because Coban's cheap, and I just gave it a palm swell. And fairly clean tear. And now, yeah, that is immediately better after less than a minute of modification. The edge, it's moderately sharp. Let's test the shaving. That'd be a no. But I don't like my tools to have a shaving sharp edge unless I intend to shave with it, which obviously I don't. Ha ha ha. But yeah, this less than a minute of work and it already feels significantly better. I mean, I'm gonna do some test swings just here. Yeah, That doesn't hurt anymore. So less than a minute of modification, and you can turn this $6 machete into a usable backup. But this isn't what you want to see. You want to see the good one. So I'm gonna put this away. I I have machetes stored in multiple places in my room just because, you know. Yeah. But next is the biggest one by weight and breadth. This is a Topanga style machete that I got in the same order as that previous um, Latin style, I guess. But this is my heaviest machete, and I love it. One small part I don't like, though, right here is blunt completely. It is sharp from there to the tip, and then this is blunt. And now to measure. 23 inches overall, and that edge is 13 and a half inches. So that's 9 inches total length that is unsharpened. This kind of has the same problem with the scales, but these are significantly better shaped. I don't need to wrap this one, but I could. And I'm probably gonna because I've got lots of the Koban and it's, you know, ease of use. I've seen some people put paracord on the blunt section of their machetes just to have some extra paracord. This does not have a sheath. That does not have a sheath. They came wrapped in saran wrap and lightly oiled and bubble wrap and duct tape. Yeah, they were shipped in a bag, not a box. But this is a JMK Topanga machete. I I tried looking it up earlier, but my Wi-Fi isn't working on my computer again because something's wrong with my computer. So I'm gonna have to take it into the living room to figure that out. But I have to do that later when my brother's here. He's the tech savvy one, not me. But yeah, this is an excellent brush clearing and wood chopping machete for the price. This was also $6. Which one's better? This one. I would happily pay $30 to $50 for this machete again if it came fully sharpened or with a sheath. Or maybe even sharpened up here. But nah, axe that. That doesn't make sense. I know some machetes like this have a uh, clip out of the tip so you can do some tip work. But yeah, I've used this heavily since I got it. I've cut down trees, I've cut down brush, I've trimmed trees, and for machete work, it's great. I haven't tried to do any particular knife work with it, like making a spoon or something. You need a small knife for that, which is why I have like this folder. This was my EDC, and yeah, it's great. I got it for $3 years ago. How many years? Oh, has it been really been over 8 years that I've had that knife? Wow. But yeah, a Topanga machete, if you want brush clearing power and effect for minimal cost, a Topanga machete. Absolutely. Let me set this down as well and talk a bit. Lots of people use and abuse use machetes. They're cheap most of the time. Wait, is it even most of the time anymore? Even the ones at Walmart are over $20 now. But the quality has gone up for the Walmart ones. They used to carry the what was it, Corona for $6. Those are easily 4 times the machete that a Corona machete is. Unless you want to use it on just light vegetation like blackberry bushes or maybe bamboo or vines of any type. Vine work, $6, dirt cheap machete, kind of comes with a sheath sometimes. Sometimes. I've seen them right next to each other at Walmart years ago, the Corona machete and the sheath that goes with the machete, and the sheath was $4 and the machete was $6, so $10, which you can do worse. But I've also used a Corona machete as a brush clearing tool, and I've bent it. Started dead straight, ended like that. And it wasn't my machete. It was a friend's machete, and I think I still owe him a machete because it it had issues after that. He had 3, then yeah, that one bent. It was the only one that bent. The other 2 got a little dull, but you're using an edged item as a tool, it's obviously gonna dull up a bit. That's just basic math. Take one thing, do thing that makes thing, use the thing you're standing. Take a machete, use it against brush, wood, grass even, and light and other light vegetation. It's gonna dull eventually. That's just a big no doy. But yeah. Okay, let's move on to the last. No. The point of this video is that you can get machetes basically anywhere. In certain states, you can get them at a truck stop because machetes are like the pocket knife of the bush world. No, the pocket knife is the pocket knife of the bush world because you still use pocket knives in the bush. But yeah, back to machetes. It's pretty easy to use a machete, so getting a machete that is still budget friendly but quality is somewhat important if you need it. Like I don't actually need the machetes. I could do the machete work that I've done with half of it. I could do with a weed whacker, but sometimes it's a good workout is all. But there's also the times when it gets your primal heart beating. Like a medieval man would use an axe or a brush tool that's similar to a machete, but not necessarily a machete because hooks. I do have a hooked machete, I just didn't want to get it. It's a hawkbill, I think is the technical term for it. It probably has a different name that ends with panga because there's the basic panga machete, there's a tapanga, and then I guess the forward curved would be another type of panga because actually I think panga just might mean knife. I'm gonna Google that real quick. Okay, so panga does not in fact mean knife. Um, Panga in certain aspects of Africa is just a machete. So panga kind of means machete, but a broad bladed machete like my tapanga with the flaring tip. Panga also means deer in Filipino or Tagalog. In the Philippines, it means dear, like sweet one, like you're my dear sweetheart. That was a tangent in and of itself. Okay, last machete time. The only one that came with it. The only one that came with a bad sheath. I mean, can you hear that? Also, this is a left-handed sheath, but this is arguably the coolest one. Set the sheath aside and tape measure. I think this one's 30 inches. 27 inches of total length and 18 and 2/3 edge length. This one, I would argue, is more of a weapon intention than a tool. I did use it as a tool. It does work as a tool. It also has the it has the longest handle, so you can hold it in like 4 or 5 different ways. You can saber grip it. You can handshake grip it. No, that's saber. You can handshake grip it. You can hammer fist it. You can hold it way the hell down here and give it a chop. I've loosened my handle apparently. No, that's right there. Right there wiggles a little. The, the guard is tight. This is a Bud K machete. So Bud K, I believe, stands for budget knives. This is made in China. Both of those earlier the middle machetes were made in Colombia. Uh-huh. This is I I kind of don't like the branding that's on this because it's Marine Force Recon, which doesn't really matter to me. It does say on it anytime, anything, anytime, anywhere. And hold up, that is a very rough fuller on. Okay, it's got 2 fullers on one side of the blade, no fullers on the other. That's kind of odd. Fullers help when they're on both sides of the blade better, but there are, yeah, there are reasons for that. It is sharp. It is not shaving sharp again. I used this to cut up some small maple saplings that were growing in an inconvenient location. I was gonna actually dig up the longest one, but I found out they're not growing from a standard root balls that were just close together. They were growing from a stump that was buried under the ground. That was buried under the ground. Obviously, it was. Yeah, it wasn't taken out like it should have been by the whoever lived in our home before we do now, which was a while ago. But yeah, instead of digging up or possibly even blowing up, no, not blowing up because it's too close to the house, but instead of dealing with the stump, they just dug a hole around it, chainsawed it as much as they sawed it down as much as they could, and then they reburied it, thinking, it's probably not going to do anything. But yeah, I've got actually right outside my window, I can see the 5 maple trees that have sprouted from it. They're not huge, but this fall I have to coppice them. I have to cut them as flush to the ground as possible and hope they don't come back. Without the use of chemicals, of course, because, yeah, we have dogs and other. Yeah. Okay, back to machetes. Machete is a great tool. A machete has the potential to be a great weapon. And, yeah, some machetes are better at being tools than weapons. This machete is better at being a weapon than a tool. Now, does that mean I don't like it? I do like it quite a bit. It's useful. Well, it has its uses. It's I haven't had to sharpen it yet, but I've only used it for a few hours. Same with my Topanga. I haven't sharpened it yet, which I guess is a good sign that the $6 machete can take um, a spring's worth of abuse and not need work. But yeah, um, I'm not going to post links, but the only one, no, all of them were available on Amazon. The Colombian machetes, if you want to look, they're military surplus 5 pack. That's how I found them. There are 2 or 3 different sellers or distributors selling 5 packs of uh, not used, but new old stock, I think is the term, machetes. And yeah, I got 4 automatically usable. I got 5 machetes. They were all okay. The one that's just basically bar stock, the Gavilan, is the one that is the one we go to last out of those machetes. My Hawkbill and the Topanga are first grabbed when me or my brother have to do yard work. We go for the heavy ones. I also got a really long, like 32-inch long Latin style with a very thin blade. It actually came bent and I had to store it with the okay, it came bent like that, so I had to store it like that. Or not quite that extreme, but just to demonstrate it. You store it with the blade curving this way, and because of weight, it'll go from that to straighter and straighter. I could grab it, but frankly, I'm hot right now, and I think I've talked enough. It's been almost half an hour. Thank y'all for watching, and if you need machetes or you want to ask me about a machete, I can probably don't ask me. There are lots of other people that have more experience with machetes. But thank you for watching. I hope you have a good weekend, and if you're somewhere on the west in America, try to stay cool.